Welcome to Warp Speed Cardboard, an actual hobby channel where we will cover mostly card games and book reviews. We will also be doing sports card openings, sports highlight reactions, toy unboxings, and much more. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of when we upload the videos. Also, leave a comment down below because I enjoy the interaction with you all. Thank you for watching the channel. Alright, today I want to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation Exiles, a novel by Howard Weinstein. First off, you can see it on the center of the screen, the live book in the top right corner of your screen. Cover art, another amazing cover. Like, the best part about this book was the cover for sure. Cover was done by Keith Birdsong again. I actually shot this whole review last night, but apparently my microphone was unplugged or something, so it didn't go through. The book was good, but I would not recommend it to anybody for getting into reading Star Trek because it wasn't that good. I didn't like it. Like, it was good, but I didn't like it. The last 50 pages saved it from just being kind of an abysmal read for me. So basically, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because the last 50 pages did save it, and yeah, that's it. So basically, your premise is it's the same song and dance. Picard and company are called to a planet put out a distress call. Picard and crew head that way. Basically, this planet that these people called the Etilosians were basically exiled from their home planet 300 years ago, and now their current planet is about to die. You know, it's just about done, and they call the Enterprise to help them mediate, basically like a truce between them and the planet that exiled them, the Aljaz. Well, the Etilosians, they want the Picard and company to basically transfer their whole planet to another planet, to Aljaz. But what they don't know is, at the same time they're trying to make a truce with Aljaz, Aljaz wants to make a truce with them in a way to get one of these sacred animals that the Etilosians have raised that basically are scarce because they don't breed, you know, they don't really breed. And the Aljaz, this is like their religious icon, the Nephiti, or Nefertiti, or however you say it. And we're just gonna call them the birds, okay? The Aljaz want one of these birds, or two of them, or something like that. Their leader Zilla, she wants a bird. She thinks it's basically to boost morale because their planet is also dying. But they are in a position that they're just overpopulated. They can start working on things to bring their planet's climate back under control. So Picard and Troy go to the Etlos to tour the planet with the Etilosians and learn about their culture and all that stuff, and see the world, and find out that, you know, they want Picard and the Enterprise to basically take the whole planet somewhere. And Riker and Data and two other basically characters for the book, I believe, Lopez and like Halshnak or something like that, go to they're taking an ambassador, a single diplomatic ambassador from Etlos to Aljaz to basically mediate the treaty with Zilla, the Aljan leader. Well, this is all happening, you know. Basically, they come to terms. They meet a middle ground. The Navir, the diplomatic ambassador from Etlos, and Zilla, the leader from Aljaz. They come up, they land in like a middle ground, and things seem okay. You know, everything seems to be going well. So, hang on, I'm just getting distracted here. Oh, anyways. So everything seems to be going well. So Picard takes a couple of the Etilosians to tour the Enterprise, and Riker and Data and the two ensigns are leaving the planet Aljaz. Well, while Riker and Data and the other two are on the shuttlecraft with the ambassador Navir, she's also with them, they get sucked into like this void, which turns out is a ship that's so huge it's basically makes the Enterprise look like a gnat on an elephant. You know, it's huge. It's like a traveling planet, almost like a small moon. You know, and at the same time, the two birds are sick, or they look sick. Well, the female's sick. So the bird keeper Robo or whatever, and the Etilosian leader, I can't remember his name now. I knew it last night. You know what I mean? I forgot it now. And his like number one basically They go up on the Enterprise to tour the Enterprise, and Dr. Crusher and Troy are tasked with watching over these two birds with the bird keeper. Well, one of the birds is pretty sick and keeps having these seizures, and then the Edilosian leader, his number one guy, you know, doesn't want these two planets to merge or come up with a treaty or nothing, and he knows that Aljaz wants the birds, so he basically strangles the bird keeper, tries to kill one of the birds, but Wesley Crusher and his little girlfriend catch him. Wesley takes him out. He lives, but the bird lives too. Robo lives, or Rogol, whatever the bird keeper's name was, as well. But this dude basically backstabbed his best friend, which is the leader of the Edilosians, and it's things are in chaos again. And then Picard's also starting to stress out because Riker and Data and the two ensigns and the ambassador from Edelos are missing. They're basically prisoners on this ship with this dude named Denid that calls himself a supreme primary being, and it's him, and the ship is like an entity in itself named Null. The program is named Null, and that ship is on a one-way path to crash into Aljaz and take out the whole planet, all 4 billion people, because they too, the supreme being guy, his peoples 150 years prior to the 300 years the Edilosians were exiled. His people were exiled. They were called the Burkeem, and he's basically seeking vengeance. And the computer program Null don't agree with this. He doesn't want to go through with it. So Riker and Data are tasked with basically showing this computer program on this ship that, hey, we're the good guys. We want to save the Edilosians, and we want to save Aljaz, and not, kill 4 billion people and all this stuff. And Denid's way against it, and he's going crazy, but Riker calls his bluff. He sees that he's not some supreme dude. He's just an old guy. Riker gut punches him, shuts him up, and all this is going on. Picard and company find out that this gigantic ship is basically on a one-way path to take out the planet Aljaz and all 4 billion people. So Picard has to make a choice. Watch this planet get taken out, or, he needs to take out this ship. Well, Worf is like, the only way we're taking out this giant ship is if we crash the Enterprise directly into it and sacrifice the whole 1,000-member crew. And Picard is, Picard. He's like, well, we're going to have to do that to save 4 billion people, because that's what, that's the whole, what everything the Enterprise is about. So the Enterprise and everybody's like sick, throwing up because they're about to die. Beverly Crusher's in her room looking at pictures. Wesley's basically nauseated, seeing it firsthand at the con, and they're about to, they're 9 seconds away from crashing into this ship. Data finally shows, he hooks up to the giant ship and shows them, the plans and everything like that. And Riker finally gets through to the Enterprise in the last 9 seconds and tells them, avert, don't crash into it. And, all's well ends well. And all that's basically the last 60 pages of the book. Because the rest, let me get rid of my face cam because now it froze. I'm just having so many problems lately with everything. It's insane to me. Anyways, we'll just get rid of that for the end of the video. That's basically like the last 60, 70 pages of the book, where it gets really good. The rest is really lame. Like, it's just a really kind of bland book, to be honest. Maybe some people really loved it. I didn't, so that's why I gave it a 7 out of 10. And then towards the end of the book, the female bird's been having these seizures throughout the book, and you're like, man, it's gonna die. But a really good ending happens. Turns out she was pregnant and gives birth. So everything happens well. Aljaz gets their bird, the baby, to raise and basically save their planet. And the Denid regrets what he was going to do. And he also killed a couple of starfighters from Aljaz, that were trying, in the last few seconds of the event. And he regrets it, so he ends up making peace with them, and he tells the Edilosians that he will use his giant ship to transfer their whole planet, all their people, and all their wildlife, and all that stuff to a new planet, a different planet. So everything, turns out okay in the end. But 7 out of 10, like I said, it wasn't a terrible book, but it wasn't my favorite, you know what I mean? It wasn't, it just wasn't my favorite at all. And it wasn't, it doesn't warrant a better rating than a 7 out of 10. But that's the video today, guys. If you haven't read it and you're into the TNG series, read it. If you really liked it and you hate my opinion, let me know in the comments down below. But like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know what you think. Later.